Hello, hi, hi.
Once I learned these 7 things, I've been able to give women some of the most intense and expansive orgasms of their entire lives. And I'm talking about legs shaking, can't even move type of orgasms. So make sure you watch this video till the end. Okay, now let's jump right into it. Today I'm gonna
I can't believe that I'm going to say this, but I am just going to say this. I like giving blowjobs. I legitimately think that they are fun, but not everyone has
Yeah,
the
sure.
same enthusiasm for them as I do. And in this
I
video,
will, I
I'm gonna
will.
share the
Ano, kumusta
mindset
na?
I
Marami
go
ba?
in with, as well as my tips for giving great head. Let the puns begin. All right, so this video is outside of what I normally do.
Thank you, thank you. Salamat, kuya. Salamat kaayo. From where are you, kuya? Shout out to you, kuya. Yeah, I'll go to your channel. Alright. Yeah, you are 5.3 subscriber. Um, salamat, kuya. I will send you my new channel, kuya. And then, please support my new channel, kuya, ha? Mactan, Mactan, Mactan. Mactan, Cebu.
I know that men are my primary audience here on YouTube, and that the obvious audience for this
Yes, thank you for my 5 people.
bisexual women or men who are. So if you are someone who loves giving blowjobs, watching this, or wants to love them, welcome. I am about to share with you how to blow and have a good time. But if you're more of a blowjob receiver watching this, then I've got two quick things I want to say to you. First, I hope that this can give you some language for directing your partners better. And
Hey, good night. Good night, babe. Hello. Thank you for being here.
Secondly, if you have any other additional tips or thoughts, please drop them.
Geraldo Gabriel, my first love.
Watching this video, I can learn from your experience. Before I get into the tips and the how-to, I just want to share about my perspective, because I have often extolled the virtues of
Mary, my name is Mary.
It take a while to warm up. Our bodies need foreplay for us to even have a chance.
I send you on my kuan kuya, my other
is important for men too.
my other second account kuya. Please support also second account.
Foreplay is more than just about orgasms. It is about showing care and affection and desire for your partner. It is about teasing and building up to a big finish. finish. It is as important as intercourse itself. It's also a great way to build excitement in your
Uy, I have also ginamos, kuya. Oh,
is a surefire way to linger in a man's
I really
mind
love
for
it. Either
days
ginamos,
after the
bulad, I
There's
don't know.
also a lot of pleasure and power gained
Tea.
by feeling like you're in complete control over a sexual experience, and your partner is just laid back and receiving. Giving a grade A blowjob can be incredibly arousing for the giver because you get to see how wild you can drive your partner.
Uy, kuya,
Some
I'm
show
35 years old na.
are turned on by how much someone desires us. So this is a great way to tap into that. Before I give you the how to give an incredible blowjob and have a great time,
See,
doing
I'm
it,
listening
remember
blowjob
to
thing.
like this video, subscribe
Crazy.
to this channel, turn on the little bell so that you will be first to know when I drop more advice on getting and giving pleasure beyond your wildest dreams. Okay. Tip 1, master the approach. When it comes to giving head, a lot of us learned from porn, but I think we all know by now that what happens in porn isn't an accurate reflection of what you should be doing in your personal life in order to have great sex. In porn, the woman usually dives right in, she gets like all aggressive on it, and she starts gagging and deep-throating and all kinds of stuff. I don't suggest doing this. I recommend that you approach the penis with love and curiosity and that you build up your experience. Because honestly, if you stay present and curious throughout the entire experience, you're probably going to do way better than you think. Sometimes mindset is as important as techniques. The same way that we like our
Thank you,
vulvas
kuya.
and
Salamat,
vaginas to be
kuya.
teased and warmed up and treated with love, men also want to be taken on a bit of a journey. So start by licking and gently kissing up his shaft and the tip of his head. Don't start full mouth sucking.
Yes,
just
salamat,
yet.
kuya.
Let his body warm up to the experience and bring him to a point where he is like really begging you to amp up the intensity. Now, side note on this, some men can lose their erection when you start teasing and playing and going slow. Not a big deal. Erections come and go. They can come back. From the beginning of the blowjob until he has orgasmed, try to tune into his body and listen to his reactions. Let them guide you. If you are tuned into him, that is already going to put you at a tier above the average lover. All right, tip 2. Keep things slick. Usually when it comes to giving head, the wetter, the better. Yeah, it might feel a little gross and not particularly ladylike, but saliva
But I think, yeah.
really does make
I think I'm
a
subscribing to your
difference.
channel.
I'm
Hi,
a
Mar.
spit and then a flavored lube fan, but like, you do what you gotta do. If you are not producing enough spit on that note, you can actually trigger
Hi, Mark.
your
From
mouth
where are
to
you, my
create
dear
more
friend?
saliva by deep throating. And you don't actually have to go all the way into your throat. Just having anything towards the back of your throat causing you even the threat of gagging will actually cause your body to start producing more saliva. It wants to make things wetter so that you don't choke. Anyways, pro tip. Also, don't be worried about spit in general. I know that spitting on someone or like drooling on someone might not feel that sexy, it might not be exactly your style, but remember that you don't have to be demure when you have a dick in your mouth. You can channel your inner Megan Thee Stallion and be a big ol' freak, okay? Tip 3, use your hands. Using these two makes all of the difference when giving head. You can use them to take a break. You can use them to extend the feeling of your mouth. You can even use them to create the sensation of deep throating without having to do all of the hard work. Slide one hand all the way down to the base of his shaft and hold it, maintaining a little bit of tension. This pulls the skin, thus increasing sensitivity in the nerve endings at the tip of the penis and all the way along the shaft. You can then use your other hand to rub up and down his body, touch the inside of his thighs. We'll get more on what to do with testicles in just a second here. Experiment. One thing I like to do is put one hand over my partner's heart, just to like feel this energetic connection and help him feel the energetic connection, thus tying his genitals and his pleasure to his heart at the same time. And this honestly is just the tip of the iceberg, which is why I created an entire course that teaches you advanced tantric hand techniques. That's called lingam massage. These techniques are totally transferable to blowjobs, and they provide incredibly intense pleasure as well as connection. So if you've ever found yourself thinking like, what should I do with my hands? How could I change it up? I'm tired of just doing this up-down stroke. What else is available? I have included the link to my lingam massage course in the description of this video. All right, tip number 3, involve his body. Like I was saying before, the best head is given when you are present with what's going on for him. It is important for all folks to feel connected during the sex and not just on a physical level. You can do this by looking up into his eyes while you're down there, running your hands, giving him little scratches along his body if he's into that. You can squeeze his thighs, and if you're feeling spicy and he's into it, you could even explore his backside. Make sure that you talk about it first. Consent in all directions for all genders all the time. Also involving his balls. So many men like to have their balls played with during a blowjob, but you have to ask exactly how. Some men like a tighter squeeze. Some men like a very gentle, you're just like barely touching them. For some men, they might find that a little bit ticklish. So again, you gotta have a conversation with the guy that you're with. But in short, you have so many options. You can lick his balls, you can cradle them, you can even give them a very gentle squeeze. You will make him feel like his whole body is being tended to, which will make the pleasure that much more intense. Number 4, express yourself. There is nothing hotter than a woman giving head and enjoying it and letting everyone know that she likes it. I sincerely think that this is like the most important tip, because what you might lack in skill, you can always make up for with enthusiasm. Making little sounds and like groaning or slurping will help him to know that you are into it and will help him to relax into the experience and feel that much better. Also, don't be afraid to get a little extra with your self-expression. If you're into it and it comes naturally, you might gag or make little guttural noises. When you pause, you can always stop and smile at him. It does not need to be clinical. There is no like one right way to do this. This is why mindset is so important. If your mindset is like, I love this experience, that is going to show. It is most important to remember that when it comes to noise and expression, it only really works if it feels authentic. Remember that your partner isn't looking for you to give a performance or be fake. They can usually tell, actually, when it feels fake, and that can take them out of the moment. The most important thing for great sex is that everyone is being themselves and having a good time. If it works for you, let your freak flag fly. But don't feel like you have to put on a show. All right, number 5, take a break when you need to. It is okay to need breaks, especially if you've been deep throating. Remember, like you can't breathe. You have to take breaks. Titrate variety, okay? You can always stop for a little while.
Hey, Mark, from where are
Still
you?
stroking him with your hand. Remember that if it ever starts to feel unpleasant or like work, then the
Hey,
energy is gonna fall for both of you. Sometimes you
you
just need
get
to
me
take a
through
little
my
break to, like,
nerves. How can I
represent yourself,
say?
get your head back in the game. So take all the time that you need. Take as many breaks as you need. Often I've found for my clients, and even for myself and men that I've been with, that we kind of feel like we have to like continue to increase the momentum. We can't take breaks, we can't go back. Like once we've started, we gotta go from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5, all the way to 10, all the way to orgasms. I will tell you, the best sex that you can have involves building up the intensity and letting it come back down. If your guy deals with premature ejaculation or erectile dysfunction, he may be adding a little bit of pressure to the situation and being like, oh my god, it's working, we need to keep going, we need to keep doing this because like I'm too afraid of like getting to the finish line too fast or not at all, etc., etc. I invite you to think about sex more as an adventure, as a journey, as something that you can come back to. Take as much pressure off as possible, and remember that sex itself, but especially getting great head, is a marathon, not a race, a sprint, not a sprint. Just remember, as much as you want to nail
Pretty little baby. Oh yes, I'm doing well, thank you. Thank you, thank you.
Pretty little baby, pretty little baby.
Yeah, I pin a message, and then yeah, please support my channel, my other channel. Yes, thank you. Yeah, go to the channel. Pretty little baby. Pretty little baby. Said I love you, but I lie.
It is at its core a connected activity, and if you're not feeling present and connected, it's not going to be good for anybody. So take your time and have fun, and don't fret too much that you're going to get it wrong. All right, number 6, and my last tip to giving great head: know that it is okay to ask for instructions. Although there are some tips and techniques that apply pretty broadly across the board, it is important to remember that every man is different, and so are his preferences. You are free to keep things simple and let body language communicate to you what is and isn't working. But remember, in order to have all of the information, you have to ask. You have a person in front of you who is literally an encyclopedia of what they like and what they don't, and they are going to be your best resource. Asking what he likes doesn't have to be awkward. It doesn't have to take you out of the moment. You can start licking and sucking on him, and then come up for air to ask. Do you like this touch or that touch more? Do you like this firmness or that firmness? Do you like when I do this to your balls, or would you prefer that I do that to your balls? Or tell me exactly how it is that you want to be touched. Unfortunately, a lot of men haven't always had the pleasure of thinking about this in advance. A lot of guys experience sex sort of like they're lucky enough to be having sex, so they can't ask for exactly what it is that they want or need. Just enter into the conversation with the same love and curiosity that you're entering into the blowjob itself, and invite him to get curious. Let him know that you are open to staying with that conversation and helping him figure it out. Chances are he will either tell you to keep doing what you're doing with a little tweak or specification or modification there, or he might chime in with very specific instructions if he knows his preferences. He might be a little shy at first, and that is okay. And if you want to know more about that testing technique, like do you like touch A or touch B, I made a whole video on that, which you can go watch next. And there you have it. If you follow these simple tips, I really don't think that you can mess it up. Remember, the most fun part about sex is the exploration, the sexploration. Remember to explore your partner and your preferences. Remember that everybody's different. Remember that partner and you can change in preferences and desires day to day. Remember that sometimes it's just how you approach the thing that makes the biggest difference for everybody. With the right partner and the right approach, giving blowjobs can be super fun, empowering, and incredibly sexy. Y'all have been asking for me to make more videos educating women, so this one is for you. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments, and if you want to see more about this kind of stuff from me in the future. I'm Caitlin B. Thanks for watching. I will see you next time. There, I said it. That's me being the horse. Today we're diving into one of the most iconic and pleasurable sex positions. You know it, you love it, cowgirl. Yeah! Although this might be considered one of the more common sexual positions, I guarantee that most people are not experiencing this to its fullest potential. For the ladies watching, I'm going to tell you how to take your guy to the rodeo with some advanced tips and tricks for both his pleasure and your own. And for the men watching, you're going to get the inside scoop on what this position is like from a woman's perspective, how to make it even better, and where you can contribute most. Because it turns out that even though she's the one on top, there are many ways to make this a team effort. Now, before I dive into my 5 tips for advanced cowgirl, there are a couple things that I want to shout out about this position. First of all, it is amazing for the female orgasm. When a woman is in control of the pace, the pressure, the depth, the rhythm, it makes sense that she's more likely to get there. Not to mention that this is one of the best positions for clitoral stimulation. This position also happens to be one that many women tend to feel a little self-conscious in. I mean, I get it. Our society doesn't really teach us to be all uninhibited and just go after pleasure with abandon. Right? So if you're someone who feels a little self-conscious at the thought of riding cowgirl, here is my message for you. I have worked with thousands of men, and I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt that it is a turn on for the average man to get to see you get into it. It is a turn on when you let loose, when you lose yourself in the act of giving and receiving pleasure. Your man is not here to judge you, and if he is, you need to dump his ass yesterday. Because in reality, your dude is probably just feeling incredibly lucky to be able to sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. And as for the guys watching, if your partner is feeling a little self-conscious about riding cowgirl, then this is your chance to make her feel like a goddamn queen when she gets up there. I'm talking compliments, affirmations, moans, groans, anything to make her feel sexy. Trust me, you will both be seeing the benefits of making her feel like hot shit. Side note, anecdote, I did one time go to the Texas State Rodeo in Houston, and I did ride a mechanical bull, and I will tell you, I just now made the connection that the kind of affirmation that I needed from the crowd riding the mechanical bull is the same kind of affirmation that you should be giving to your girl as she is riding your metaphorical bull, which is tell her that she's got it, that she's riding like a rodeo champ, that she looks so hot on there, and then, you know, as in my case, if she lasts like 6 seconds before she gets fucked off, tell her that no harm, no foul. She could get right back on the horse and try again. Without further ado, here are my 5 tips for advanced cowgirl. Tip number 5, start slow. See, this time it wasn't communication, y'all. Start slow. There is no need to rush into cowgirl like it's some kind of a race. This is not the Kentucky Derby. Starting slow isn't just sexy, it's also practical in this instance. Ease him into you and feel free to linger and tease. Not only does this build up his anticipation, it also gets into the flow of things for you. So feel free to use your hand to guide him into you and linger as you take in just the tip. Tease him by hovering with just his tip inside of you and take your time before you fully lower yourself onto him. I mean, go even slower than you think you should go. No matter how eager he is, tell him you're in control. Once he's fully in, there is no need to rush into fast or intense movements. As women, we often feel like the men are the ones that are leading the pace of the sexual experience. We're often looking to them to set the pace. Being on top is your chance to take the reins and tease him while making sure that you keep yours. Start gently and with the mindset of, I'm just exploring. As you are moving your body, settle into what feels good for you while also keeping an eye on his response. By starting slowly, you are able to get the lay of the land. What you like, what he likes, and eventually what drives you both wild. The best sex is a gradual build-up towards a big crescendo. Don't rush the process. Let things pick up their pace naturally in time. Tip number 4, switch up the motion. Once you've eased in and you've found your groove, feel free to explore different movements as you are riding him. In porn, we often see women bouncing up and down. And yes, can be fun. It can also feel great for him if he's really into a pumping motion. But the reason that we see that in porn isn't because it's the best way to do it. It's because it's the most visual way that this can be done, meaning that you get to see the most genitals on camera. What actually feels best for most women in a non-recorded videotaped set is grinding, a grinding motion. By grinding into him, you are going to get the maximum amount of clitoral stimulation, your vestibular bulbs and the outside of your inner labia right next to your vaginal opening, they're going to be responsive to that kind of pressure and stimulation. So try grinding back and forth, grinding side to side, grind in circles. Hell, switch it up and even do a little figure 8 action. Changing your movements will allow both of you to experience a vast array of sensations, and you will be able to check in and practice and experience what feels best. And remember, not every single motion or thing that you do needs to lead you to orgasm. You can trust that by moving in different ways and just exploring what feels good, you are building up towards having an orgasm. But you don't always have to take the most direct route. You don't have to take like the freeway to orgasm town. You can kind of meander through the burbs and check out the topiary and the scenic view along the way. A pro tip is to ask your man to tense up his pelvic muscles and tilt upward. This is going to create a firmer base for you to grind into. Not only does this increase clitoral stimulation, it also allows for deeper penetration. If you have one of those really soft and squishy mattresses, consider changing to a chair or the couch or something that's a little firmer underneath you. That can help with this. Now, if your dude cannot take this because he deals with premature ejaculation, go ahead and send him my Come When You Want course so that he can overcome that challenge and, come when you want. Now, time for my third tip, which is use hands for your pleasure. You want to bring your hands into the mix. This is one of the best parts about Cowgirl. Your hands, his hands, any hands, they can all be used to make this position that much more pleasurable for you both. If you want to take full control, you can rub your clitoris while you're on top of him. Not only does this feel incredible, it is also one hell of a view for him. And if you want a little help, then you could put him to work there. I mean, his hands aren't busy otherwise, right? So get him to place a thumb on your clit as you grind into him. This provides exact and intense clitoral stimulation and may just be the thing that takes you both over the edge. And listen, if hands aren't doing it, if they're not enough, you know that I am a big advocate for bringing toys into the bedroom. Using a vibrator while you're in this position has got to be one of the best and most pleasurable and empowering experiences that this body has got to offer. Which brings me to tip number 2, which is use your hands for his pleasure. Now, even though this is one of the top positions for female pleasure, let us not forget about the man who you are riding. If you want to shift gears into doing things his way, you can place his hands on your hips, on your ass, and get him to guide your movements. This way he's in control of some of the sensation that y'all are both creating, while also getting to be your pillow prince for the evening. And when it comes to your hands, there is so much that you can do. Who says that women are the only ones deserving of a little hair pull, of a little nipple twist? So lean over, wrap your hand around the back of the base of his neck, give him a little squeeze, a little tug, use your mouth and your fingers to lick and suck and nibble on his nipples if he's into that. And don't forget, you could also be playing with your whole self. All the nipples are pretty accessible in this position. Brilliant. And one more tip for those who are into things a little spicier. Cowgirl is a pretty great position for a reach around. You can reach back and fondle his testicles while you're riding him. Just make sure that he's into it and that you have asked beforehand. And if your man likes a little backdoor action, cowgirl is a great position for you to reach back and touch on his butthole, maybe insert a finger into it with consent, of course. You can lean back and keep it there while you ride him, making come hither motions, maybe getting all the way to his prostate, depending on how deep it is in his body. Front, back, visual finger, he will not know what hit him. All right, and number 1 tip for advanced cowgirl riding is know when to take a break. Know that it is okay and encouraged to take breaks. Cardio can be hard, okay? I may look in shape, but I suck at cardio, all right? If you are getting into cowgirl, it can be a pretty tiring position. And if you feel like you need a breather, you don't have to abandon the position altogether. You can lift yourself up slightly. Just play with the tip inside of you. You can ask him to take on some of the work by thrusting in and out of you, by grabbing you and pulling you back and forth. Even though this is a position where the woman is in charge, it is a team position, just like all other positions. It's never fair to say that any sex position is entirely on one person or the other. Taking a break is going to allow you to get back into pleasure. It gives him a chance to take charge of the rhythm and create more pleasure for himself. And if you want to, give him a little direction, maybe boss him around a bit, who will to stop you? And there you have it. My 5 tips for advanced cowgirl riding. To the men and women watching this, let me know what other things you have discovered that has made cowgirl epic for you. Put them in the comments. I love when you get in there and you share what is working for you in your bedroom. And of course, if you're not already subscribed, take a minute to take care of that while you are down there. I'm here every week with new videos on all things sex and relationships. I'm Caitlin B. Thank you for watching. I'll see you here next time. Bye. When it comes to female pleasure, sometimes less is way more. In this video, I'm going to tell you how to use small movements to create big sensations. I'm talking about the pulse trick. The truth is, you don't have to go fast and hard to blow her mind. In fact, she often doesn't want you to. For those of you who are thinking right now, that doesn't seem to line up with what I've seen in porn or what other people have told me or what feels good for me. I have worked with hundreds of men, thousands of couples. There are, at this time of filming, 150 million views on this channel. I beg you to hear me out. Understanding how to use small and precise movements in exactly the right places is actually some pro level. So many men get carried away when sexual excitement is high, but it is the guys who know how to take command and give her exactly the kind of stimulation she needs, where she needs it, and consistently, that are giving their partners the best, most incredible orgasms. Pulsing is a technique that targets her most sensitive areas with precision and keeps the focus on rhythm, teasing, and building anticipation. And by the end of this video, you will know how to use the pulse trick with your fingers, your cock, and even your mouth. But remember, there is only so much that I can show you here on YouTube. So if you are ready to take your movement, rhythm, and precision to the next level and learn from me and 2 professional corn stars, then my Thrusting in Positions Masterclass is exactly what you need. But more on that later. Before I get into the how, let's quickly get on the same page as to what pulsing is. You can think about it as the opposite of the wild, frantic thrusting movements that we so often see in porn. Pulsing is small, intentional movements that focus on a specific spot. Pulsing is all about connection and precision rather than speed or force, and that is what makes it so effective. Pulsing feels particularly incredible for women because you're going to stay in constant contact with her sweet spot rather than just hitting up against them in a rhythmic way. The key to pulsing is establishing a consistent pace, a consistent rhythm that she likes and then you are able to stick to. When in doubt, you should always start slow and work your way up in both pressure and speed, checking in on her as you go. And of course, if you're really in doubt, the simplest way to get an answer is just to ask. Small rhythmic movements. That sounds pretty simple, right? Yeah, because it is. Now let's talk about the technique. Here's how to use the pulse trick with your fingers. If you are a longtime viewer of my channel, then you know I am such a fan of all of the things that these guys can do for her. When it comes to fingering, a lot of people think about an in and out motion, but that is not the most pleasurable way to touch a woman with your hand. Instead of thrusting your fingers in and out, try one of these 2 finger pulsing techniques. The first one you might have heard of, but the second one will surprise you. Rather than going in and out, insert 1 or 2 fingers inside of her and locate her G-spot. It's on the front wall, the anterior wall of her vagina, and it will feel a little rougher or like a little raised compared to the surrounding tissue. Once you've found it, you're going to gently pulse your finger pads against it. Like I mentioned, you're going to start slow and work your way up in intensity. Now, the trick that makes this distinct from, say, like a come hither technique is that you're actually going to keep sensation on her the whole time. That is the most important thing for you to take away from all 3 of the applications of the pulse technique. What feels so good about it is that instead of doing something like this, where pressure is coming off and there are these split seconds of disconnection, you're going to stay connected the whole time. By doing this instead of thrusting, you're keeping all of that sensation constant on the place where it feels best. The second way to use the pulse technique with your fingers is to gently push them all the way inside of her, going as deeply as you can. This way, the rest of your hand will be pressing up against her vaginal opening, close to her vestibular bulbs, which also feels good. Now, once you're there, you're going to pulse up and down while gently pressing on the front wall of her vagina. So this is again on the front side of her body. You're going to create a little pressure with your other hand while you keep your fingers in to her body. Ooh, wait, I gotta get the technique. There we go. While you push your fingers into her body as deeply as you can and pulse from there. Now, the reason that this feels so good is that not only are you capable of stimulating her G-spot, but you're also going to be giving her the sensation of being slightly stretched open with your hand because you're pressing up against her vaginal opening. This allows you to massage all of the nerves around her vulva as well as inside of her vagina. Now keep in mind, this can feel very intense for some women, so make sure that your partner likes the sensation of depth and intensity, and please use lube. It is vital, especially for anything that feels like a stretch, that you keep everything slick and very wet, and your fingers should always be wet before going anywhere near her vulva or vagina. Now let's talk about how to use the pulse trick with your mouth. This is one quick and easy way to seriously up your oral game and include something new. Again, in this way, pulsing is all about consistent, small, rhythmic movement, especially important if you are trying to get her to orgasm. Now, the next time that you're going down on her, try gently suctioning her clitoris with your mouth and then pulsing against it with your tongue while maintaining light suction. Firmly push your tongue into her clit and then pulse it back and forth in the same rhythm. If you you are truly a pro, you can also combine moving side to side and up and down, but you're gonna keep your tongue on her clit the whole time. You see, keeping the movement small allows you to focus solely on the most sensitive part of her clit. And the suction is going to help bring blood up to the surface of the skin, which is going to intensify her sensation even more. Now, if you find this hard to keep up at first, don't worry. Remember, the tongue is a muscle, and just like any other muscle, it can get stronger and more dexterous with practice. You can literally practice on your own hand anytime. Now, when you're going down on her using this trick, the idea is to keep a steady rhythm. As she gets closer and closer to climax, you can gradually bring it up in speed and pressure. Don't make any big changes, especially as she's about to go over the edge. You see, when it comes to a woman's orgasm, it's often just a matter of finding the right sensation and then sticking to it until you get her there. That's why most women prefer the stable, normal setting on their vibrator instead of the 19 other settings that they come with for some reason. Well, I know the reason. It's because they were created by men, not by women. Now that you know what to do with both your mouth and your fingers, the next tip is guaranteed to take you both right over the edge. But before we dive into that, we've got to talk about movement, because how you move inside of her is what makes all of the difference. You see, a lot of men don't fully understand the art of thrusting. They are sort of making it up as they go along. If you want to have a better sex life, a deeper connection with your partner, or more confidence in the bedroom, you can. But it won't happen by accident. That's why I created my Patreon. It's more than just bonus content. It is a roadmap to bedroom transformation. Here are some of the things that you will get as a patron. Monthly live Q&As where I give you direct, personalized insights to overcome your challenges and take your love life to the next level. Advanced techniques and tools that I cannot share anywhere else. Tips that are going to make you the confident, connected, and unforgettable lover you are capable of being. You'll also get early access to my videos, exclusive discounts on my courses, and for my VIP members,
Sure.
even
Just
more.
let me know.
This isn't just about watching videos. It is about stepping into the kind of intimacy and pleasure that you are capable of. Click the link below and join me on Patreon, because nothing changes until you do. Number 3, the pulse combo. What's better than the pulse trick with your mouth or your fingers? The pulse trick with both your mouth and fingers at the same time. We all know that for many women, the best head involves digital insertion as well. This way you're stimulating both her clitoris and the backside of her clitoris, aka the G-spot, at the same time. Now, when it comes to the pulse trick and combining oral and penetrative sensation, don't worry if you can't get the exact rhythm right all of the time. It can be a little bit like doing this. Now, for some of us, actually it's a lot easier to keep the rhythm the same because our brain works in that way. Either way, don't let it cause you any stress. Remember, you can practice, hopefully, as much as you want. If you get it right, she will be interested in letting you practice more. So instead of focusing on perfection, just focus on maintaining rhythm and pressure and the one that feels best for her, either your tongue or your fingers. Put the majority of your focus on the one that she responds to the most strongly. In order to know that, you'll have to play around, see how she responds, or maybe ask. The reality is that both of these feel great. An orgasm isn't the only goal of sex, but when it comes to coming, she will probably be more prone to getting there through both of these sensations rather than just one alone. So figure out which is going to impact on her, focus on that, and bring in the other one as well. Pro tip, if you have music going on in the background that's got like a good beats per minute, somewhere over 100 beats per minute, then you can really get it going so that you've got the pulse and you're just like a metronome. You're just keeping pace with the music. Even if she doesn't realize this creates a very attuned sensation because you're hearing this music, that's got a beat, and then your body's beating at the same rhythm. It's almost like hypnotic in the best way. Pulse trick number 4. Penetrative pulsing. What I think we've all been waiting for. Pulsing in penetrative sex, aka intercourse. The pulse trick can and should absolutely be used while you are inside of her. Not only does this feel amazing, it is a fantastic way to tease her and build up anticipation for larger movements as you begin to amp up intensity. When it comes to penetrative pulsing, there are 2 main ways you can do it. The first technique is focused on teasing, and for that, it's all about the tip. To do this, you begin by entering her very slowly, only inserting the head of your penis inside of her. Then slowly move the tip in and out only about an inch, maybe 2 inches at the absolute most. I am not talking about going fully in and out of her, but rather putting your head in just as far as you can without it slipping out, and then pulsing back and forth just a tiny bit. Now, the reason that this is so effective is that it builds up anticipation before you actually finally do push into her. If you do this right, you are going to have her begging to feel the full length of you inside of her. And that is exactly how we want to start all penetration, with our partner literally begging us, do it, please, now. The second way you can pulse during penetration is basically the opposite of the first. Rather than pulsing when you're at the outermost part of the vaginal opening, you pulse when you're fully inside of her. While the movement is the same, the sensation is going to be very different for both of you. When you are deep inside of her, slowly grind and pulse into her, again, only moving back and forth about an inch. Now, depending on the position and the angle, this could stimulate her G-spot very precisely, or if you're very deep, it could give her A spot or P spot, aka sort of the areas around the cervix, a lot of stimulation, which can feel very intense, but also very pleasurable for many women. This gives her more consistent stimulation at the deepest parts of her, which can feel very, very intimate, because again, you're using your cock to keep sensation going while you move pressure back and forth. And now for my final way to use the pulse trick, with your pelvic floor. Believe it or not, both men and women can pulse your pelvic floor, and it feels amazing. The main difference between pulsing with your pelvic floor versus regular penetrative pulsing is that instead of coming from an in and out motion, you're coming from more of a grinding, like back and forth. My favorite way for you to use this technique is when you are fully inside of her. Rather than thrusting, press your pelvic floor against her and pulse as you grind into her, never letting your pubic area leave her. The reason that this is so pleasurable for women is that it provides one massive benefit: clitoral stimulation. With your body pressed up against her clit and you pulsing your pelvic floor, she's feeling all that sensation on the outside of her body, and she's getting this new and interesting sensation from you on the inside of her body. This is why variations of grinding can actually feel better for women than thrusting, and at least there's something that you want to be adding in every time you have intercourse. This way she's able to feel the full length of you while also experiencing your pubic bone, pressing into her clitoris, and giving her sensation there. This only works if you are using this technique from a front-facing position where you can grind into her like missionary or cowgirl, but having said that, you can also pulse into her from behind or any other position. Experiment with it to see what works for both of your bodies. Remember that as you're pulsing your pelvic muscles, it also gives her a sturdy and stable base in case she wants to take charge and grind into you. Sometimes all women need to get there is a little bit of support and a little bit of control. And if you want more than just the pulse trick, if you want to master every movement that makes sex feel incredible, then my thrusting and positions masterclass is for you. I designed it for people of all body types and shapes and sizes, not just for those young, flexible yoginis that can like put their ankles behind their head and all of that we often see in thrusting and positions guides. No, I designed this course for people who experience back pain, for people who have major size differences, for people who don't have the stamina that they did back in their 20s, but still want to be able to hold interesting sex positions because you want to be able to get all of those spots inside of a woman's body that lead to the biggest and most intense orgasms. I also teach the exact techniques that are going to have you take your skills in the bedroom to the next level, sometimes even literally. The link is in the description. Go check it out. So there you have it. One trick, 5 ways to use it, and a whole lot of pleasure potential. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you got something out of this video or this channel, why not subscribe? Because I release weekly content that covers all things sex and relationships. I'm Kaylin B, and I will see you here next week. Bye.
Alright, goodbye.